Hello, welcome to the McEwen Brother podcast. This week, me and Jamie discussed the feedback and our progress with our business idea so far. Hope you enjoy. Our dad has been messaging us lately, I feel, on two fronts. There was a WhatsApp message with regarding some ideas for the pizza rental business. There was an email which basically he linked out to a comment on his Medium article, which he posted about, which basically outlines the stuff that we created, the proposal, the idea. And I think it's actually been quite a good resource for us and for him to get some, I guess, other extra awareness or another way to boost his Medium
Income.
revenue and stuff. But yeah, the comment he shared, I thought was quite interesting about how the guys approached the idea, being a bit more cynical about the idea and a bit more maybe you could regard it as realistic, saying that I think his first line was, "Oh, first thoughts are there's no structure," and it's like fair enough. Like he's just basically read the proposal and gone straight to the end. I think of gone if this is this, he's gone if this is a running business. This is what I think X Y Z is not structured. There's more margins in food. Why is there not more focus on that? How are you going to basically pay for staff when you're only charging an X amount for food? These sort of aspects. And I was like, he's actually made a fairly good few points. And then because we've been so focused on my point of view, I guess our point of view is like being so more focused on let's try and see if there's market validation with the website and some ads. I was actually thinking about which I haven't done so yet, is reply to Dad's email, but with just because of his questions and his thinking, with like a more detailed, uh, almost like financial plan. So maybe like a profit and loss balance sheet and like
Yeah.
a cash flow statement, but really hone down on actually specifics of the numbers. Whereas I feel like the one
Yeah.
we did originally was a bit more. It was I did it and it was, I guess, fairly quickly done. And the guys obviously looked at it in more detail and gone, right, maybe 20 quid for food doesn't make sense. And, fair enough. But it was literally just a proposal, quick thing to do,
Yeah.
give us a rough idea of what's possible. So I'm actually keen to do that and reply to Dad, which I haven't got around to doing. And
The other thing,
that's the thing that we need to talk about as well as timing. But yeah,
yeah.
what's your thoughts?
Well, my thought process is like we're not at that stage for you. So what you're talking about there to obviously send a more of like a financial um breakdown. I don't think we're there. We've not got other things in place. We've not even done like my biggest thing with with this whole idea is what we're coming up to and what we're probably at the stage we're at is creating a website, getting social media platforms up and running, and having even just like a few posts on of just like the overall concept. Not even it's not even like the business going and okay, this is we're up and running. Just being like showing what the business is going to be and what it's going to be like, and then sending it to people and being like, okay, can you have a look at this? What do you think? Would you be interested in trying this out? And getting the feedback in, because the biggest thing now is we've had some dads written something and some guys written something back to us, which has been
Yeah.
great. We've had a few other comments on dad's posts, and we've had family judge it. We've not had
Yeah.
the consumer judge it. So my biggest thing is like the next step for us would be that, and then while these stuffs are getting set up, is obviously getting in contact with either pizza places to do it. But other thought process is how cheap is it actually to just make our own dough? As could it be something that we could do even cheaper and just do it on our own back? Do we
Yeah.
really need another person?
That's a good
And then
point.
obviously, like, would it be worth getting like a Costa card to then get bulk wholesale prices? These sort of things.
Yeah.
That's when I would look at it. But I
Yeah.
would look at that until we've proven that okay, Edinburgh people want this. Like they're
Mm.
keen for this.
Yeah.
Once we've got that done, we can go from there. And that's what I thought next month's going to be. The next coming month, we'll have a bit more of say set meetings with the three of us, go
Yeah.
through it and be like, okay, Jamie, you're doing this now. You're doing that. You're doing this because we've all kind of done our wee introductory bits, albeit all probably a bit botched,
Yeah.
all over the
Like,
place. But it's more like let's get the ball rolling in terms of physical things that people will be able to see, the designs, the name, looking at it. Like you've done some great designs on what's it called, Figma.
yeah.
Um, Looks great. Like what you've got done. You've given us plenty of options to look at. We can even do two different web pages. You know, a lot of these companies allow you to create like multiple different pages. We could try two different ones. What people like the best. You know,
Yeah,
test the market.
just to add to that, I guess we could get down to the line where we have tested, like say next month we tested it, it's good validation, people are interested. But then again, if the numbers don't work, then it's like, why would you go ahead? So part of me does think doing a little bit more detailed financial projections will give us a better
Yeah.
idea of what we are expecting or what we can aim for
Mm-hmm.
regarding revenue. But then again, it's like revenue may come from different aspects of the business model further down the line. It's not set in stone. We may sell more dough. We might make dough in house. Might make that part of the whole price. Is the price right? Do people prefer having like modular pricing? So yeah, it's ways to structure it. I think it's more like it does the idea appeal to people. That's where we're
Yeah.
getting to, and I think it's the point you're making. Another aspect as well is, we're talking about this. We want to test the market validation for the idea, and ultimately we could, you could set up like a quick web page, put some stock photos on, write up a title, a couple of lines, put on like a form and see if people are interested. But I think now, because there's so much noise out there with people creating businesses or coming up with different ideas, and because we want to make it as official as possible, to enable that to happen and make people go like, this is a really good, this is like a business. It
Yeah.
needs to be almost basically professional, like look professional,
Yeah.
look official.
hundred
And I
percent.
think that's what takes time. And I guess from my point of view, I guess that's why we're taking a bit longer to process that and break down the tasks. Because we could have, I think that's, we're coming up to 2 months in.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's one aspect that's playing on my mind. Like, we want this to be as good as it can be to get validation. But to get it as good to be, we all need to play our part and get the tasks done.
Yeah.
And that's just taking time. Um,
Yeah. Completely.
do you have a similar thoughts on that?
I think yeah, I think it's like the biggest thing with moving forward with this is I think there's a whole mix of factors. You've got like I think dad's look on it is like, why have we not done more? Why have we not like got more done? Why is this? And I'm like, first of all, we've all got our own lives. We're
Mm,
all, you've got a partner, I've got a partner, Cam's got a partner. Cam's on the other side of the world. Time zone's completely different. I'm working shifts where I can work till 9 o'clock at night, and then I can work a 9 5 the next day. It's not exactly ideal to do that. My days off are when
yeah,
you're working,
yeah,
and I think the communication of being like, I think we all kind of would be good to have times where we're doing it together. Albeit, you could say something, and then at night when I've got time, or in the morning when I've got time, I could do bits and stuff. It's maybe a bit more of a giving an excuse, but I also think no, there's a balance to all of it, and we are still doing stuff. It's not like we're not doing anything. Um, it's just obviously not going as fast as maybe is what Dad thinks. But let's obviously we're
I wanted
talking. I think
to,
it's Ramble. Let's bring it to Callum. What was
yeah,
that?
that's where I
What
wanted
was the
to go as
chat with
well.
Callum?
Yeah, so obviously, we have a WhatsApp group and we also have a Notion doc, which we're using to project manage everything and the tasks that we're doing. Now, obviously, there's tasks for you, which me and you talk about, and on WhatsApp, you seem to be quite good at responding and giving us little updates. Um, Callum was being kind of radio silent, and he had done one part of the task, and I gave him feedback on it, and then he responded a bit on WhatsApp, and yeah, so I thought I'd just give him a call. So I called him on, that would have been Thursday, I believe, and he was like really close to the camera, obviously on a computer, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? What are you up to?" And he's like, "Oh, just playing a game." And I was like, "Fair enough, chill time. Do what you want." And then asking him a bit more about how's the task going, and he didn't really say. He was like, "Yeah, I've done this." And we just started talking about the idea a bit more detail about. We wanted to basically get the domain, get our email set up, and he started talking a bit more about actually doing those tasks as a
Yeah,
next step, and I thought that was very good. Um, but ultimately, he was like, I'm really, well, he didn't really say I'm really struggling, but he made the point of, if I have a task, it needs to be something I can do in half an hour. He can't really spend too much time on it because he's very busy at work, busy with personal life. And he's like, well, if you could do something like immediately after work, or kind of after dinner in the evening for half an
Yeah.
hour max, he can do that. Like he's like, that's totally fine. And I'm like, thanks for letting us know, because it takes a call for me to ask you how what's your opinion on all this stuff. Like he could have said like, I'm
Yeah.
struggling with this sort of work, or
What?
I'm actually not able to get this done. Can somebody else take it? Which I think
Yeah.
is something we're getting used to. That's where Callum was at basically. But he's very much, he's still keen. He's not like,
Yeah.
oh guys, just take me out. He's still keen to progress with things and work on stuff. So I was like, don't worry, I'll take on some of the stuff, and we can break it down task for him. That's half an hour
I
or
think
stuff.
that's like I think
But
so. Like I've thought about it a little bit more just as you were saying that there, and I think like yes, that's good and all for like for the now and stuff. Like if he's able to still do like these half hour bursts, you wonder would it be if he Cam came up with his own idea, obviously the 3D printers. Would have it been better being like we split some of the money and Callum just gone on with that, because then he could do it in Australia and that could be his project and we help him with that project, whereas he's trying to help us with basically it's kind of like UK project.
yeah, but I mean, even from, obviously we sent the proposal to Dad, and from the proposal we didn't state his 3D printing stuff. But
Yeah,
he said to us that in the background he'll still be working on that. I think it's just like his interest, his
yeah.
he still has an interest in that, so he's still wanting to work on that. Which I'm pretty sure he said to us, and I'm like, fair enough. Maybe he has worked on that a bit, but from what he made out, his life is like, he's been very busy at work, working late, going to the gym after work, and then he's away this weekend in Sydney. And
Seems like
it's kind
he's still like here for I don't know about you, but our brother still lives a lavish life. He likes to go do things and like
I
go
think,
out
yeah, yeah,
and
oh yeah, he's always had that mentality, isn't he? He's like, you only live
yeah.
once, sort of thing. Yeah, so yeah, he does live like quite a good life. So I
um,
think, I don't know if you have an opinion on that, but I'm like, that's totally fair. Like,
yeah,
if that's the
no,
way
everyone has
you're
their own life.
operating,
The
it
biggest
just
thing
it
is
impacts us, which is maybe the
yeah,
unfair thing. That
I
impacts
think the
us.
biggest thing is everyone's we're all own lives. Not everyone's a business person as well. Do you know what I mean? Like Callum has got his engineering and stuff. Callum's not done business. He wasn't interested in it at school. It's not been something that he's really particularly taken part in much. Even when you had your garden business, Callum just came along and been like, "Yes, I can earn some extra cash and I can help you out." You know, but he
Yeah,
didn't. Did he ever go to try and do much of his clients? He did it for like a wee short bit, and he was like passed on to me as soon as he could.
that's so true. I do think,
Um,
I was thinking about that as well. That Callum, it made me think of other people that I know and go, okay, yeah, like engineers, whatever, they want to have set tasks and set jobs and like doing
yeah,
stuff, get this thing started, and maybe not part of their forte in a way, or what they're
yeah,
interested in. Whereas I was speaking to even like Iona's like, oh, I feel like you and your brothers are just so motivated. Like you and Jamie, just like like go getters. You just so motivated and entrepreneurial and business focused. And then I was thinking, all right. And then we're making dinner, and the flatmates are like, so what's everybody up to tonight? And I'm like, well, I was in a podcast later with Jamie. And they kind of like, oh, like, like laughing, like, why are you doing that on a Saturday night? It's like,
yeah.
why not go and enjoy yourself? And it's like, the football's on. I missed the football. I've just remembered that. Like stuff like that is makes me go like, oh, should I be focused on other things?
But
And it's
like,
like, I really enjoy what I'm doing. And
yeah,
even though it's not like I do think I could be doing more. I think you always feel like you can do more,
yeah,
but
like,
it's not like all my life. But if I have free time and I'm like doing stuff, it's on this stuff because I
yeah.
enjoy it.
That's like
Yeah,
so the perfect example of that is like I for you for like I don't know that to think or even your flatmates to think that I'm like I feel like I'm not doing enough.
yeah.
Like
That
you
I
probably
do.
feel like that. You feel like we're not doing enough. Like okay, yes, we've got a job, we're doing that, we're earning some money to come in, but um, I always keep thinking like I watch YouTube videos. The recent ones I've been watching in terms of like, so I watch a lot of YouTube,
Yeah,
on like different businesses, different people doing things, and I'm like, I watch people who do like buying and selling of cars, and I'm like, I just think I would love that. Like, like start my own wee place, get a wee plot, go start buying cars, get them fixed up, go to car auctions. And I'm like, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah,
And I think I would learn so much doing it myself. But like, I think it's just being bold to be enough to be like, oh yeah, go ahead, do it. Or even
yeah,
this pizza business, I could quite happy pack stuff in and go, do you know what? Let's go all in. I'll just work on it all the time and
yeah,
try to get it up and running a little bit quicker. But there's just more to life, eh? There's like other things coming front, bills, making sure you've got secure income,
yeah.
things like that. And it's just, yeah, it's interesting. But
Figuring out, and I think I do think sometimes I do I feel like I could get up a bit earlier in the morning and crack on with things, but sometimes I like my sleep. So that part of me goes like, I've got 2 hours in the morning. I get up, smash it, but I feel like I'm very much a night owl. I like
yeah, but then
working.
you
Yeah,
also
so it's
get
a
up two
balance.
hours.
It is a balance.
Yeah, you get up 2 hour earlier, and then before you know it, you're 4 hours at works. You've only done the 2 hours of work because you've done you're
Yeah,
knackered because you've
that's true as
things like
well.
that.
That's true.
And if you're not a person to get up early and do stuff, yeah. And
Mm.
my biggest thing is getting back to fitness and stuff, and just keep trying to get active again. I'm like
Mm.
really not doing enough in that aspect, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so back to the sort of the business. We're kind of in the stage of next steps. More needs to be done. Probably start of next month. Realistically, with not much going to get done for the next few days.
Do you want to give a rundown of where we're at the moment so we can give people an idea of
Okay.
what our current
So
stage is and what's maybe next?
yeah, so I'll run through sort of mine. I can't remember exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah, that's
Callum
fine.
he was done. So I'm in the launch stage. So I was looking at sort of how are we going to launch the product and to people. So I was looking at basically people we can reach out to on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Then also looking at sort of different campaigns, so styles of what like campaigns that we do want to go, what sort of adverts, videos do we want to create. Reason I looked into TikTok, 30-second ads, they're on everything. You look at your phone, you watch a 30-second ad. You go on Facebook, you watch a 30-second thing. It's all about these quick, fast paced, eye catching things. So I think that's the route I was looking at, and I think that's the way we will go in terms of doing that. And also looking at different competitors, what sort of people are doing already in the market in terms of this sort of service, or even just pizza restaurants, Italians, what are they doing for styling, colours? How bright is it? Is it more neutral? What route do we want to go? So we can get an understanding of where we're going to push the product into.
Cool. Cool.
That's where I was at. Gregor?
So I am at the stage of I was tasked with doing a bit of branding to give a online presence an oomph, more professional look. So I was tasked with basically generating a logo, a little bit of brand elements of colors, looking a bit of into how we would position ourselves with regarding to visual identity online. And I've kind of done that, got some feedback on some logos, some icons that I've designed, and then basically park that for now because next stage is basically to build out the assets. So basically, the dimension that we need for example, Facebook logo, like what dimensions do we need, what size, what do we need for Twitter or TikTok. So basically, set that aside because I feel like we've got logos and ideas done. What I'm looking into now is basically a bit of the website. So planning the content of the website. So what do we want on how many sections do we want on the website? What do we want to feature on different sections? How is it going to be structured? What kind of icons are we going to put on the website? Does it look professional? With knowing what's possible with the possibly tool that we're going to use to build the website, I'm just basically planning that out at the moment. And then what the idea is, I'll have a basically photo or PDF page, which is like going to be a long page, and it's got different sections of the website, and basically you'll be able to scroll on your phone and get an idea of what the website could look like, and then it's just a case of transferring those items to the website builder, and we'll build it in the website, and then looking into buying the domain next. Actually, might buy the domain probably next week, just so we get that secured, and then set up the email as well. And then Callum's going to build out the Gmail account and structure the accounts so we can manage everything on the communication side.
Cool.
That's where we're at. And once you're finished your task regarding uh, where we can launch or market the business, once the website's built, it's a case of basically creating some of the content for the adverts. And then we'll just be pressing publish on go on some of the adverts to get some feedback from the market. And perhaps maybe a little content, I think actually a little content plan regarding what's the first week going to look like with our launch plan. And then maybe kind of maybe the second week, third week, and then see, because I think it's going to take if we get a month worth of awareness, that'll give us a good idea if there's market validation, and we'll basically progress the idea from there. And then while we're getting the market validation through the adverts and maybe speaking to people from, hopefully they do respond to our website and the forms that we put up there, we can then look at the cost structures and look into maybe ordering product and speaking to business owners more around the operations side of the business during that time. And then from all that, basically, we'll have an outline of, is that a go or is it no go? That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I think
Does that
that's a
make
pretty
sense?
good
I feel like that's
Yep.
pretty waffled.
No, I think that's a pretty good structure of sort of where we're at. We're basically ready to sort of move on to the next stage
Cool.
of web design, launching the product, to
I
get it out there so people are aware of what we're doing.
I also feel that if we have this structure down, I've always like, well, I guess, if we have the structure down of how we approach an idea of what we like, how we build a website, and how we market it, okay, it's not going to be the same for every product, but you could literally just repeat that for other ideas.
Yeah,
And then it's just a case of like actually building out, obviously it's going to cost a bit of money, but you build a bit of a content plan, those sort of things.
definitely. Well, I think that's a good point to sort of finish
Great.
the podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us rabble on, and are going to take on some any questions or queries about our business idea. And yeah, just hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week.
Great. We'll see you next week.